This is my review of the Rising the Shield Hero episode 14. So, before I begin, I owe an apology to Raphtalia. Anyone who saw my reaction video knows that I was not nice to him. At all. I spent most of the episode screaming, he's a traitor, he's gonna kill you, run away. But I felt like I had good justification for it. Mine sent out word to every single lord to give some kind of secret message, probably capture the shield hero, kill Melty, and I'll reward you a lot. So when Melty said there was a nobleman who could help them out, like the shield hero, I was definitely wondering if we could trust him or not, and spent a good portion of my reaction video screaming, don't trust him, he's gonna kill you, run away, run away. Of course, didn't help when he suddenly just popped up right behind them, like a freaking ninja. Seriously, where the freak did you come from? Kinda reminds me of, Ling from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, where he just pops up all the time whenever anyone mentions his name. Even Shield Hero was surprised, saying his stealthiness is off the charts. He's a frail-looking man, but somehow he managed to sneak up on all four of them. Even Raph's superhuman hearing didn't detect him at all. And of course, then when the food came out, my first thoughts were, it's poison, don't eat it, it's poison, don't eat it. Which apparently were also the Shield Hero's thoughts, because he refused to eat it. And then Raphtalia ate a piece and called it delicious and promised him it wasn't poison, which it made me like the guy a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I was still a little suspicious, but I thought, well, he could have just eaten the one piece of food wasn't poisoned. But yes, I started to trust him a little bit here. And then a little bit more when he was carried off in chains. Again, I thought maybe this is some kind of plot between the two of them, but then we saw the demi-humans who loved their lord coming forth to demand he be freed, which even then I was just worried he's just been playing this good guy persona all these years to make them like him so he can torture them or do horrible things to them when no one's looking. But then we see him again, and he's been tortured, he's been beaten, and he's asked, where is the devil the shield? To which he replies with the biggest smile, I know no such person. The only one I know is called the Shield Hero. Oh my freaking god! Okay, he's down top 5 best characters in this entire series. He's witty, he's smug, he's a freaking ninja apparently. He's tough, even after being tortured and beaten, he's not giving up any information and is still making jokes about the Shield Hero and referring to him as a hero after having only known him for one day, well, really half a day. His only real knowledge of him is that he made Melty kind of a less uptight person, which apparently is all he needs to know to declare him a hero. Or it might be something to do with the demi-humans. I said this before, I'll say it again. Raph's parents told her that the Shield Hero was good to demi-humans, so maybe because he's a supporter of demi-humans, he's a supporter of them? He's a supporter of the Shield Hero? When I first saw him, I thought he was a scholar or something, and he'd be able to tell the Shield Hero about the ancestral Shield Hero, the last one, what was going on with all that. Maybe next episode, or more likely one after that, we'll say. Anyway, now back to the beginning of the episode. Sorry, kind of did things a lot over there, but I really owed him an apology because he's apparently a much nicer character than I originally thought. Anyway, so in the beginning they are running away from the forest fire. And my only thought was, why are you not riding Philo? She can literally outrun a forest fire. She can literally outrun a dragon. She can literally outrun anything, and yet you're just walking away. I don't want to overtire her, but that would definitely be faster. We then move ahead a few days. Shield Hero is looking to buy supplies and is told that it's impossible to cross in a silt vet, so he basically just has to follow the Queen's orders and come find her right now. And once again, I just have to say that wanted poster is just so bad that no one is actually going to believe it's him. I don't even think that shopkeeper would have said, oh, I just sold something to that guy. He would have said, nope, never seen that monster before in my life. It's just that bad of a wanted poster. I know you're trying to make him look evil and mean, but it's hampering the search. Anyway, then Shield Hero decides, let's go meet the Queen, which I definitely thought was the best plan all along. I know he has no reason to really trust her, but we have seen her before supporting the Shield Hero, being nice to him. Her spies told everyone that mine she did in the race. Her spies didn't kill him in his sleep, even though they could have. So yeah, a lot of questions on that. Anyway, then we see a farm. I'm like, oh, demi-humans. And then I realize, oh, slaves. That's not good. We then get a very interesting backstory into Raph's homeland. The domain of Stata, their lord, was a wonderful man who attempted to create peaceful coexistence between the two races. Think the Abraham Lincoln of demi-humans. But he ended up dying in the first wave, and the nobles that sided with him were basically scattered. Which, I really hate her father more and more. I mean, seriously. I just really despise him. But more so, I'm gonna argue that he probably wasn't killed in the first wave in the way they're thinking. I'm almost certain someone from the three churches or the king himself arranged him to be killed in the wave and just blamed it on monsters. Because he really freaking hates demi-humans. Apparently so does the church. It's clear that the real story isn't actually getting through to anyone. Melteeth believed that the Seata was attacked by rioters after the wave, but they were attacked by soldiers. Government soldiers who were there to turn everyone into slaves, apparently. I mean, seriously. What the freak is wrong with this country? And this is a moment I've been looking forward to ever since Melty joined the group. She's realizing, oh dang, my country sucks, doesn't it? Oh dang. She even says, as royalty, we did nothing to help, and I'm still arguing, yeah, you did things to make it worse, because your father really doesn't like demi-humans for some reason. I'm hoping that gets explained down the road, too. Anyway, so then we meet Raphtalia, and he basically tells them that the story going around is that the shield hero started the wildfires, cover his tracks. And I really like the shield hero denies this. Early on, he did not deny anything. Whenever anyone accused him of rape, he just basically shrugged it off because he thought no one would believe him, but now that he has allies who trust him, he's actually saying it out loud and proud. I did not do it. It's a lie. Which I think is definitely a good step moving forward, being able to, defend himself again against lies and all of that. We then get probably the most adorable scene where Philo has to use a fork and knife, when did they teach her to use a fork and knife? I mean, seriously, do they own forks and knives in the wagon and they were teaching her on the road, or what? We've seen her in a restaurant like maybe one time. I mean, she's technically a bird. I have no problem with her eating with her hands, but apparently Raph's more of the big sister, making sure everyone behaves properly. And then we get just another scene where Melty's an idiot. I know I say that a lot, but I mean, she literally is mad at the shield hero for doubting this man's hospitality. A man that he just met, a man that appeared out of nowhere and he knows nothing about. Obviously, Melty has a past with him, but her own sister just tried to have her freaking murdered. I mean, really? Really? There is no one that can be trusted at this point, not even your long-term friends. I mean, even the man that tries to kill her down the road was apparently a longtime ally of her father. Seriously. We do get a good scene, though, where Raphtalia basically says that in the past, Melty always tried to force herself to act mature around others, but being with the shield hero has taken down the walls, let her be more honest with herself, and has helped her grow in a good way, which makes her blush quite a bit, which I really loved. She then talks to Philo about this, and she's a little worried about the way she's acting now, but Philo tells her that she loves the way she is now. She's smiling and happy and so much more cheerful than she used to be, which makes Melty blush even more, until Philo says that she should just let the master dote on her like she dotes on the rest of them, which freaks her out like I've never seen before. It's just absolutely amazing. I love it. Alright, then back to the king, and finally we get confirmation the king knows shit about what's going on in his own country. He's ordering soldiers, bring Melty back, and Mine is comforting him, saying that, rest assured, she'll save her, it'll be okay. And he just has no idea. Yeah, the girl standing right next to you, your own daughter, she tried to kill your other freaking daughter. I mean, you know she's evil. You know she falsely accused the shield hero. You know she cheated in the duel. You know all of this. And yet, you never seem to suspect that she's the one that tried to kill Melty? Really? Then get another interesting comment from him. Not my family again. How much will you make me suffer, cursed shield? Which... so many questions about this. It was said before there were other heroes who came in the past, other shield heroes, other sword heroes, other bow heroes. But I assume they were like a long, long time ago, because no one really seems to know that much about the current heroes. They all talk about, oh, it's written that you could do this or whatnot, but no one said, oh yeah, I know the last shield hero, he was a good guy, or I know the last spear hero, he was an ass. But it feels like they would have to have been recent, because he seems to be mad at the last shield hero, who somehow managed to take away his family members. I mean, it's possible he's talking like his great-great-great-grandfather was killed by the shield hero, but this feels too personal, too familiar for it to be some distant relative he's talking about. It feels like he lost people. I mean, maybe his wife, maybe others, because of the shield hero. Why? What happened? This is a story I want to know, and I feel like once we know it, we'll hate the king a little less, and he might even come around to being a good guy down the road. I mean, one who's trying to, make amends for his sins and is still roundly hated by the shield hero, but still it's considerably a better person than he is now. And we move back to Melty, and shield hero dotes on her a little bit, puts an arm on her shoulder, tells her to get some rest, and of course she blushes and freaks out, which I think means she's officially joined the harem of the shield hero at this point. She loves to be around him. She blushes whenever he touches her. It's really cute. And further confirms my theory that she will marry the shield hero in a political marriage and become the king. Or maybe not. That's kind of insane, but that's my bet, and I'm sticking to it. And then move over to Raph, who's having nightmares again. And just by holding her hand, she calms down, which really cute and really shows how much she's grown, how much her trust in him has improved. I mean, when he first got her to sleep, he had to hold her in her arms and stroke her hair over and over again before she'd finally calm down and stop screaming in the middle of the night. And unfortunately, these are different nightmares than we've gotten before, which... Really? I mean, she had the whole terrifying backstory of her parents murdered. I assume she was sold into slavery after that, but nope, it gets worse. And I should have realized the previous slave owner mentioned she had another master before this. We see her in a cage with all her friends. She's trying to comfort the one girl. She's still keeping her smile going as they're brought to this terrifying, terrifying place. And then she sees Rifana dragged away in chains. And yeah, I don't think Rifana survived whatever this is. I'm almost fairly certain this idol guy killed her. And yeah, so I'm really hoping that we see this guy murdered very soon. Anyway, so then the mansion is invaded and Melty proves herself to be an idiot yet again, coming out in front of the soldiers and declaring herself Melty the second princess and demanding they stop this behavior right now. Which, again, these soldiers are trying to kill you. Well, not all soldiers. A good majority of soldiers are trying to kill you, and you're just popping out in front and then declaring that you'll go clear the shield hero's good name. Which, yeah, that's not going to work. You are going to be murdered, either by this guy or by someone down the road. But, as much as I don't want to, let's get talking about this guy. Idol Rabier. Just seeing Raph's reaction to this man made me hate him. She starts growling, her tail stands straight up. I don't think I've ever seen that before. She grabs her sword, she wants to murder him, she's breathing heavily, she's almost in the middle of a panic attack, just wanting to murder this guy so badly. And the shield hero just to, again, hold her hand and calm her down and convince her, don't murder this man or Melty will get hurt in the crossfire. Though I think they could have killed him fairly easily without Melty getting hurt, but and they're still stuck with all the soldiers in the mansion and not like they can kill all of them. I will say though I did misinterpret this next line. I've heard you fought with father in the past. First time I read that, I thought they were enemies and that he was trying to take over, become the new king or something. Now I realize he probably meant more they fought beside each other in the war, the battle. So, yeah, this is an old battle buddy of her father's who is going to try and torture and kill his daughter, which actually, again, makes me feel a little bad for the king. You have nobody in your court who's actually on your side. Everybody's loyal to the church. Even this guy who, seriously. Alright, anyway, so then they can't find Philo, and my first thought is, oh my freaking Christ, they got Philo too. But thankfully that's not the case, and a scene I think is my favorite of the whole episode. Shield Hero screams out for Philo to get out, as this is an order now, which I really liked because this is basically how I have to get my dog's attention. Literally screaming atop my lungs for him to hear me. I mean, he doesn't come, but he hears me and he stops barking for about 5 seconds, which, something. Anyway, I think this is the first time he's actually had to use the order on her. She's been fairly well behaved since her first episode, and he doesn't like using it at all. Then the Shield Hero considers abandoning her and running away, much to everyone's dismay, but she believed in him, and he doesn't want to betray someone who placed their trust in him, because so few people have placed their trust in him. I mean, really. There's her, Raph, Philo, Gran, Boss, and those 7 soldiers. That's about it. Everyone else in the entire world basically hates him at this point. I mean, especially now that he's being accused of kidnapping the princess and everything. Once they notice the distraction, they decide that they will sneak past the guards. And then they seem to immediately forget that plan as he orders Philo to go wild. That's not a sneaky way to go in. No stealth operation has ever started with someone declaring go wild. Anyway, then we see Idol pulling out his little rosary and declaring that he must punish anyone who sides with the devil, as that is his sacred duty. Though he does seem to rather enjoy the thought of torturing her, which, concerning, very concerning. Then Raph managed to knock out 3 guards, and I seriously have to wonder, when did she get so good at knocking people out? I mean, she's fought soldiers like maybe 2 times so far, and yet she's an expert at hitting them exactly where she needs to just knock them to the ground so they don't get back up without killing them or causing any permanent damage. When the freak did she learn these skills, and why? That's my question. Little off track, but anyone else notice this big-ass obelisk in the middle of the courtyard? It's got these weird, strange symbols on it. And no matter where anyone was, it seemed to be in the background, like right behind them. It felt like they were trying to show this to us because it's going to come in handy next episode somehow. Maybe overthinking it. I just saw a Puff and Force video where they break the obelisk and there's some giant evil demon hiding inside of it. So that's concerning to me. We then get the basement, which I'm assuming is where all the demi-human slaves are who are currently being tortured. The Shield Hero tells something up with that, and he assures her they'll come back later to do whatever needs to be done down there, but right now they need to save Melty. And she agrees, though I am really concerned about what they might find down there. I mean, if Raph's friends are still down there, they're barely going to recognize her, and honestly, they might be a little mad at her because she's been gone for months, fighting, living with the Shield Hero, going to hot springs, having a reasonably nice life, and she never once mentioned them. She never once told the Shield Hero, once we level up a bit, I want to go here, I want to free them, I know she's afraid of her past, but seriously, not one comment, not one mention, not one offhand remark that at some point in the future she would want to go and save these people who are being held captive. Alright, moving on. So then Shield Hero poisons a guy, which I really loved. It basically says, you'll die unless I give you this antidote, and only give you this antidote if you're willing to guide me to Idol, which, I mean, that's badass, though I think there's a good chance that might not have worked. I'm going to assume this guy isn't a member of the Church of the Three Heroes, because a lot of them seem fairly willing to die for their god. I mean, he literally just made a deal with the devil, which anyone who knows Christianity knows that's not a good thing to do. But Shield Hero does live up his end of the bargain and gives the guy the antidote, which I think it would have been funnier if Shield Hero said, oh yeah, that wasn't actually poisonous. I was just screwing with you. You're fine. Anyway, we get further proof that Idol is the most horrible human being in this entire series, explaining he wants to see her eyes become filled with despair and face wrapped in agony. I mean, seriously? And this guy thinks he's doing God's work. I'm very much hoping there is a God out there in this world, and that when he dies, he is just tortured for all of eternity. That would make me smile. Also, like, if they can just turn him into a demi-human and make him a slave, that'd be funny too. Like, if Shield Hero absorbs some of Raph's hair and then gets a demi-human transformation shield, that would be really hilarious. Anyway, but then get some of the most badass entries ever. Philo doesn't bother going through the door. She literally just breaks down the wall, knocks the soldier out of the way, and then Idol holds the princess at knife point and declares he's going to cut off her head if the Shield Hero takes one more step. Shield Hero declares, then I shall defeat you from right here. Blast the airstrike shield and knocks him on his side, which just absolutely hilarious. And then Philo kicks him, which I like that. I like that a lot. Another great line from the Shield Hero. I've never heard of a hero who abandons a child to run away. I mean, that was nice. He definitely sounds a little more heroic now than he has in the past. Especially just 10 minutes ago when he suggested they leave Melty and run away. Oh my god, Melty. Now you've wasted all my efforts. Really? Your efforts got you 5 minutes away from being tortured half to death. Those are your efforts that you're worried about him wasting? I know she was trying to put on a brave face here, but really, Melty? Really? And of course, Idol is being an ass again, thinking he still has the advantage when it's 4 against 1, and they all are way more powerful than he is. He still thinks he'll be able to kill them, he'll be able to torture them, he'll make them pay, and he just does not seem to realize, dude, you're freaking screwed right now. So he pulls out his whip. Again, no good person in history has ever used a whip as a good weapon. I mean, Indiana Jones, yes, but he never actually used the whip on other people. He used it on their weapons or branches. So he never actually used it as a weapon. So Raph decides to go confront him. Her tail is standing straight up. And she just keeps marching forward no matter how many times he whips her, how many times he beats her. She just keeps marching forward before cutting the sword from his hands. And so then she holds the sword up to his neck as he begs for his life. And she questions how many demi-humans begged for their lives just like you. And then she begins to cry. And that's basically how the episode ends. So, yeah. Good chance she's about to kill him. Or maybe not. So I'm going to post this theory right now, and I know people aren't going to like it. I made a comment about it on the Shield Hero Reddit, and I got some backlash for it, but I'm worried that Raph's about to betray the Shield Hero, whether willingly or not. I know that might sound insane, but I have a few points that have been bothering me for a while, and let's go back to episode 2. You remember what the slave trader said after Shield Hero left? So he really did end up buying her, which has made all of us wonder to a certain extent what was special about her that the slave trader expected him to buy her. Was there some reason that she was brought in, like maybe specifically for the Shield Hero to buy her? Was the Shield Hero coerced or tricked somehow into picking her above all the others? If that's the case, who arranged it? My first thought was it was the Queen. You know, the Queen wanted him to have Raph because she is part of some ancient bloodline and will help him or something. But now I'm wondering if it might have been Idol who arranged all of this. I mean, he doesn't seem that smart, but the question remains, why did he sell Raph? I mean, really? From what we've seen, he just loves torturing these demi-humans to death. And he's a freaking lord, so it's not like he's low on money. I can't imagine he needed to sell her. He could have just easily killed her, ate her, whatever he does with the dead demi-humans. But instead, he decided to sell her into the capital. Why? I mean, it might be possible that he arranged for the Shield Hero to get her, and he placed some kind of secret curse mark on her that we aren't aware of, or he placed some order within her without her realizing it, like brainwashed her, saying, when I give the order, kill the Shield Hero. Or something like that. It's also entirely possible she's been aware of this and there's some kind of secret order she's aware of, it just hasn't filled yet, because why hasn't she ever come back here? I mean, I said this earlier, I'm just gonna say it briefly now. Her friends, or at least her fellow demi-humans, she knows they're being tortured in this guy's basement. And she never once went to the Shield Hero or the King or anybody and said, please, we need to go back and save them, or they'll die. I guess she was afraid, but that just worries me a little bit. Alright, anyway, next episode, Raphtalia. So I'm assuming it's going to be flashbacks of her past, how she coped with the loss of her parents, how she was abducted and kidnapped into slavery. Can't imagine it's going to be an easy episode to watch. How her friends were tortured and probably killed. And hopefully just some explanation of why it is she ended up here, how she became the Shield Hero slave, why she was sold, and why the slave trader expected the Shield Hero to buy that particular slave. But I don't think she's gonna, even if she's not a spy willingly or not, I don't think she's gonna end up killing him next episode, just because, well, one thing next episode is gonna be all flashbacks, but even after that, I don't think she'll kill him because she's just, too innocent. She's killed monsters, but to kill a living, breathing, intelligent person is very different, and I don't think she can do it. I think the shield hero could, but again, that's gonna cause more problems for him. Word gets out, oh, the shield hero murdered a lord who was an old army buddy with the king, and all of this, then, yeah, the people are going to hate him even more. I mean, the demi-human's definitely going to get on his side. Heck, if he does ever actually manage to get to Sitlet, where there's all about demi-human supremacy, he could probably get an army to overrun the kingdom in about 2 days. So yeah, it definitely looks like Reichnot's going to end up being an ally down the road. I hope so. Because, well, for one thing, he's a freaking ninja. For another, he looks like a scholar, so I'm going to assume he knows more about this world than other people do. Plus, there's his, oodles and oodles of cash, his mansion, his servants, who are very loyal to him, and his entire country of demi-humans who are willing to take up arms and against a neighboring area to try to get him back. So, yeah, if this guy ends up being a permanent ally, he could be very useful down the road in just moving them forward. We also got confirmation the king definitely doesn't know really anything that's going on, which is concerning. I'm hoping when they do eventually get to the queen, her shadows will be able to send a message to him saying, oh yeah, Melty's here, she's fine, there's no brainwashing, stop being an idiot, go throw mine in prison. I'm still not entirely sure why she hasn't done that yet, but we'll see what happens down the road. Alright, and those are my thoughts on episode 14. Let me know what you think Raph's going to do next in the comments section down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. Until next week.
Peace.